This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so the first question we should know, and what is what is Ansible, right? What is Ansible? So if you have if you're working on Ansible, or let's say you are going to work on Ansible, uh, some of the fundamental things it will help in a way it will help you, and that is called servers configurations. Okay, servers, S means multiple servers configuration, and that is where Ansible can be used. So what we call Ansible? So Ansible is a configuration management tool. Okay, configuration management tool. So now next you will ask, okay, it's a tool to manage configuration, but what configurations? What configurations? What config? So that's where it is helping you to manage the servers configurations. Uh, it's not for one mesh server. If you have hundreds and hundreds of servers, and then you want to manage through certain tools, in that case you can use Ansible. So when we say this is like a way to manage the large number of servers. Now next question you may have in your mind, what's in server? What's in server? What you want to manage? Because here we say configuration management tool. So here you can call it now servers configuration management tool. But what's there in the server which you want to manage? So let me ask you these questions to you. What you find whenever you log into any servers, what you find, and which you have to manage it. What you find? Anything, any inputs? What you can find? Any one of you?
Hear me?
Which one?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm talking about you're talking about resources like CPU, memory, disk, and
Okay. So
also file system.
hardware. Yeah.
Mhm.
File. What else?
And endpoints. Mm,
Okay. In server. In server.
yeah.
Okay. When I say server,
Mm,
that means it's like a your desktop, your laptop. That is
Right.
something which we have in the or VMs, virtual machines, which you
Mm.
use in AWS or different places. That's called
Accounts.
server. Okay. So you can find file, you can find services, you can find yum, you can find apt, you can find batch, you can find bash, you can find users, you can find groups, right? All these things you can find it. These are the files. You can find a directory as well, right?
Yeah.
So these are the things you will find in any server. Hardware. And now when you talk about the physical servers, then probably yes. Then, but you cannot manage the physical server hardware through Ansible, but you can manage the virtual server hardware through Ansible. Why? Because virtual servers, it's all about the configuration of files and stuff like that, right? So in a
Yeah.
nutshell, if you want to modify this configuration, if you want to modify these configurations in multiple servers, for that you need Ansible. Now you may be thinking, what kind of configuration? See, any system you see, it's all about the files, right? Different types of files you have. You install certain other application. You work with the files, right? You work with the directory. You start the services. You install some applications, you remove some application, you run some scripts using bash batch or whatever, PowerShell and all. You create a users, you create a group. So these are the things you want to do in a large number of servers at one time. And for that we need some tools like a Ansible. Is it clear now?
Yeah, now it's clear.
Right? So something like this. I want I this is me. This is me, and I want to, this is my laptop, symbol way I'm saying, this is my laptop, and I've been given a task to manage, or let's say install antivirus or install web server in thousands of these servers, hundreds of these servers. How do I do that? If I do one by one, I'm the single person, right? I'm a single DevOps engineer working on it. So if I do one, it'll be challenging. So manually it's not possible because it will take a month of time to do that. What about automation? So you will find a script, but script also you have to run it here, then here, then here, and then here. That also take time, right? So what do you do? Is there any way where we write some script or code which will run parallel I'm saying, in all this machine? This is a parallel, not sequential, in all the machines. So let's say one installations is taking 10 minutes. So 100 also installations will take 10 minutes if you run it parallelly. Correct? No?
Yes.
So that's the primary use case of server. So yeah, now you have this tool is from the Red Hat. Okay, Red Hat. Now this is basically written in Python. Okay, so if you want to customize this tool, you have to know a little bit of Python as well. Now they have a multiple releases actually. Okay, so this releases, you have one is Ansible, which I'm teaching you. They have Ansible AWX and Ansible Tower also. Okay, Ansible Tower. So these are the releases we have. So what is this? So this is the command line tool, which is, this is what we use 90% of the time, but many organizations you see Tower actually. So what is a Tower? So it's a UI tool actually. Anyways, when if you go for Tower, you need a command line, but UI is for the logging, logs archival, rollback, access control, enterprise access, and you know, project management, multiple project management, and all stuff like that. So UX tool, and this is the paid one actually, AWX Tower. Uh, Tower also uses the same code which you will write using Ansible and all. And this is also UI tool, AWX, but this is a free. But the difference between the Tower and AWX uh, is like uh, both are same, but the difference is AWX is the latest Tower version from the development team, which has not been tested. Got me?
Hmm.
The Tower difference between the Tower and AWX. AWX is the latest Tower version from the development team, which has never been tested. So they release as part of community free, so people can test and see the uh, if there is any bugs and report to the Red Hat. Okay, now there is no support, you will get it in the free version, but paid version you will get a support. Make sense?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so now this is a Ansible. Now let's say you say, Rajesh, I do not like Ansible for some reason. So what are the other tools we have in this category where I can manage, I can use as a configuration management tool and deploy, manage multiple servers in one go. So we have many tools. We have a Puppet, we have a Chef, we have a Salt, we have a CF engine. So many tools we have. Engine we have. If you want to learn any of these tools, at least these two, you have a content in LMS. You can also learn apart from Ansible. Okay, so these are the close competitor of Ansible, and using everything you can write a code and then get started. Okay, now next thing is I want to know why Ansible. So some of the reason which you got to know, like it will help you to manage configurations of hundreds of servers that we discuss, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that we discuss. Now second thing, it has a idiom potency also. Anyone have an idea what is idiom potency?
No.
Okay, so this is the important feature nowadays coming with almost all the tools. Whether you name it, any tools like Ansible, Puppet, Chef, you have in Kubernetes as well. Terraform, I'm going to teach you, that also has this feature. So basically what happens, I'll put it in this way. Here you have a actual, okay, and then you have a desire. So what is actual and what is a desire? So your desire is, let's say you want to install Apache in server. That's your desire. That's what you want. But in actual, in the server, do we have it? Yes. Then no need to run script. No need to run the script. Now this logic you have it in Ansible. Okay, understood? So if you're writing a code where you will install Apache, MySQL, or Git, or anything you want to install, configure, or whatever it is, if that desire is your code, you write a code, and if it is already there, then code will not modify it. So that kind of capability having in a code is called idiom potency. Spelling mistake actually. Are you understanding now?
Uh, can you explain once again? Oh, actually didn't understand. Oh.
Okay, so see, using Ansible,
Hmm.
what you want? You want to modify some files in
Okay.
hundreds of servers, correct?
Hmm. Hmm. Yes.
But let's say the file is already modified. Whatever you wanted to modify through Ansible code, that has been already modified. So do you need to modify once again? Tell me.
Yes. We can. We need a requirement like we can modify also. Yeah.
No, no, no. You did not get me. Okay. Uh, in the my this is a desire.
Okay.
Okay, and this is actual. Now
Okay.
desire is I want to run Apache on 80 port. So
Okay.
for that you will modify some file, correct? That's your desire, and for that you
Yes.
write a code, correct?
Okay.
For
Hmm.
I'm just giving you a blunt example because Apache anyway is running on 80 port, right?
Yes. Hmm.
But actually Apache is already running on 80 port already. So
Okay.
do I need to run this code?
No.
Because
No.
this
Then
no.
it is
So
already
that
running. Yeah.
so that knowledge, that capability to check is called idempotency. Before making changes in the server, first check whether whether that actual is there or not. If it's not there, just skip the changes. Make sense?
So it takes a snapshot of the configuration, or
No, no, no.
like,
It read the configurations.
okay,
Read
it
the
reads.
config.
Okay,
Hmm.
okay.
Got it? So that's your desire, which is your code. Okay, understand this. This is your code which you write. Hey, I want this one in my server. Ansible will check whether you have actual yes, no change. If you have actual no, make change. So this functionality is called idempotency. And this feature you find in everywhere nowadays in DevOps tool. Got it? All of you?
Yes, Rajesh, got it.
Yeah. So this functionality you have it. So in a way, let me put it in another way. You have a 10 steps to be performed in server. The first time you run these 10 steps, first time, let's say install a package, create a user, modify this file, modify that file, copy a file, download a file, restart a service, create, install this package, all these things. So steps, you have a 10 steps, and first time if you run, maybe 10 steps is done. But next time you modify the code, second time you modify the code only to modify one step out of 10. So this time it not all steps will run, only one steps will run. So here, let's say if running the 10 steps 10 minutes time has taken, next time when you run the same script, it is running only taking 1 minute. Why? Because it has run only that step. So saving another time actually. Got it?
Can you come again one more time?
So here you write a code. In that you have a 10 steps. 10 step means all these you can consider 111 10 steps. Okay. So first time when you run in the server, okay, first time when you run in the server, this server, okay, then it will consider each steps is taking 1 minute. So overall time of deployment will be 10 minutes.
Right.
Agree?
Yeah. Mm.
But second time you modify and you modify the code only one step out of 10. That means only
Mm.
one thing you wanted to do.
Okay.
So it will not rerun all the 10 steps again. It will run only
Right.
one
Right.
steps. So
Got it.
ultimately your deployment time will become 1 minute. So this is
Mm.
called deployment idempotency, because 9 step was already there implemented in the actual server. So next only one step which was pending, which has been executed.
Yeah. Got it. Thanks.
This is called in a English proper English word, we call it consistent change management. Okay, I'm putting in a simple way, but this is called consistent change management. That means Ansible will make sure that all the servers is modified accurately, parallelly, as per the whatever the code you have write, which is your desire. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Now next question is how it works. This is a important question. How it works, or aka Ansible architecture. Okay. So what is this? So in every architecture, we have a us means human, right? In every architecture, human communicate with ACS and ACS communicate with ARS. Now question is what is ACS? What is ARS? So ACS abbreviated for Ansible Control Server, and ARS abbreviated for Ansible Remote Server. Okay, so I have shown you this one. In this whole machine, which is ACS, this one. Let me change the color. This is ACS, and in the whole machine, in the whole image, what you see, which is ARS, this one. Make sense? So this is the remote server which we manage from what? ACS. Who give an instruction through ACS? This one, this guy, you. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so now next question is, what should be the component of ACS? Component of ACS and ARS. Okay, so Ansible control server has to be Linux 64-bit. Okay, any Linux, no problem, but 64-bit. In ARS, this can be any. And when I say any, that means Windows and uh, Linux, usually used for the software deployment. Mac also it can be. It can be any Linux, but ACS has to be 64-bit. That means this guy has to be Linux only. Let me change the color. This guy has to be Linux, and this can be Windows, Linux, Mac, whatever it is. Okay. Now, in this architecture, in ACS, you need to install Ansible. So Ansible is just one tool which I'll show you through the demo, which need to be installed. In ARS, we don't need anything to be installed. That means no agent tray is required in Ansible. No agent is required. Then you will say, okay, how come our code will run in ARS? So basically it's like this. For communications, let's say this is ACS, which is Linux. And if ARS is Linux, so for communication, it uses SSH, which, so do you need to install anything extra in a Linux server? Because Linux, in every Linux, SSH is already installed, correct? By default.
Correct. Yeah.
So you don't need any agent sort of it, right? But let's say if it is a ACS is Linux and ARS is Windows, then WinRM, it uses the WinRM protocol to connect with Windows. So do we need via WinRM anything to be installed? No. Windows nowadays is coming up with all the WinRM capabilities. WinRM is HTTP protocol. Okay. So now these are the things. But then you'll say, okay, how my code will execute in this ARS server? Here, how your code will execute. So for that, let's understand this. Linux, anyways. So here, Linux, it is Ansible, sorry, Python is there, has to be there, Python. But if it is a Linux, here also Python need to be there. So it will execute your code. But let's say if it is a Windows scenario, let me copy this one. So
So
here
Rajesh,
we have a
so we can talk, WinRM understand the Linux instructions.
no, but WinRM is not a here protocol. It's a communication protocol for Windows, no?
Yeah,
Windows. See,
but your like Ansible installed in uh, ACS,
Linux.
right? Yeah. So we're interacting with the Windows. So it should understand your communication, right, from the Linux to Windows.
Ha.
How to communicate.
So what happens? This line Ansible create a package which is compatible. Send a package over the network using WinRM protocol, and Windows received it. So that's that this is a communication protocol.
Mhm.
So I'll give you this one. This is a Linux and this is a Windows. Okay, in Windows, this is a WinRM compatibility. So what happens? IP address. This is IP address, right? So this guy, whatever the code, is packaged with for the WinRM and send over this protocol, WinRM protocol over the IP address. And then this guy received it, understand that packet. Communication
Okay.
method.
Hmm.
SSH,
Okay.
WinRM. Yeah.
It sends from the Linux box itself. So
Yeah.
WinRM
It can
package.
send
Okay.
from anywhere. You can
Mhm.
send these packages from anywhere. The only
Okay.
thing is this is a HTTP protocol and SSH is a UDP protocol.
Hmm. Correct.
Okay, so this is the way. But here, in case of Linux, ACS and ARS is Windows, WinRM protocol. But here you have to have a Python installed, and here you need to have a .NET installed and PowerShell 3.0. Yes, that means whatever the code you are writing in Ansible here, it will execute with Python, which you find in the Linux by default. And here, whatever the code you are writing for the Windows, you are writing in the .NET and PowerShell basically, which will be run with the help of .NET. PowerShell code require .NET. Okay, so it will run with this. So that means in Windows, you have a PowerShell automatically, right? Default, and .NET also. So that's the reason you don't need any agent. In every Linux, you will have a Python. That's the reason you don't need an agent. So that's the reason we all say Ansible is a agentless application. I mean, you don't need an agent for this. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is the one. Now, so when you install Ansible, important component of Ansible you have to understand. When you install Ansible, what do you install basically? So this we have to deep dive. So when you install Ansible, this is just one command. I'll show you the demo. When you install Ansible, Ansible installations will bring executables. Of course, every installations will bring executables, multiple one, which I'll show you. Ansible is a one executable actually. Ansible playbook is one executable. Ansible vault is one other executable. So some tens of Ansible executables you will get it under the bin folder somewhere after installation. That is there. But you will get modules also. You will get plugins also, and you will get a config file also. So executables is something which we don't need to talk about it, because just executable, whenever any tools you install, you'll get certain executables. I'll show you during the demo, but you need to know what is modules and what is your plugins, correct? And config file. So modules is nothing but a Python code. Yes, it's a code, PyCode. This is also Python code. That's fine. But you know what? This code, modules code, run in ARS, and this code run in ACS mostly. So what is that? Modules runs in ARS, modules runs in plugins. Plugins runs in ACS only. So what is that? So let me explain it to you in a simple way. So let me ask you one question. This is your ACS. This is you. And this is your ARS. Okay. So let me ask you one thing. Very simple question. When you copy one file in this machine and you want to run in this machine or this machine, what you say? Linux command. Can you tell me the Linux command for it? Copy one file from one place to another place.
You press CP and to give the source, the file name and the destination name where you're
Agree.
copying it.
Yeah. So what you answered, you need CP command,
Yeah.
file name,
And the
and destination.
destination. Yeah.
So this is the command and this is the parameter. Agree with me?
Correct.
So in literally anything you do in the world, you need a certain tools, commands, and then it's a parameter, arguments you can call it. Agree?
Yeah.
So coming back to the points here, I'm saying modules is nothing but the Python code which runs in ARS. So what exactly this is? So let's say you want to copy certain files. Where is this image? Here it is. You want to copy certain files. So there is a one module called file and which required some arguments, and this code you will run here. So code is here, but it will run here. Why? Because actual things you want to do here, right? This file you want to copy from here to here. Are you understanding me?
Yes, yes, correct.
You want to copy files here. You want to install packages here. You want to start services here. You want to modify. You want to delete some files here. You want to download something here. You want to create a user here. You want to delete some user here. Everything you want to do here. And for that, either you run command or code, which required a parameter. So module is nothing but a code which runs, which is a Python code runs in ARS based on the parameter. That means for everything which you can do, there is a module for it. Are you understanding? These modules, where do you find it? The moment you install Ansible.
Hmm.
Are you
So
understanding?
basically we're passing some code or command from that Ansible. I mean, from ACS to ARS, right?
Right, yeah.
Uh,
To
to
run in
execute those.
ARS.
Yeah, yeah,
Run in ARS. Ta,
yeah.
are you getting it? Ta, Tivai?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. So this is the modules. But you know what? How many modules you have in Ansible? Do you have any idea? Thousands of it. Because this is the most important thing, right? And this is where you have to spend most of the time in Ansible. Thousands of it. Where do you do? Where do you go for this? Just type Ansible modules. No personal notes needed because official document is the best one and you must refer that one only. See here. This is the official documents by category. This is the category of modules, okay? And this is the one pretty long list. Hell lot of it. I mean, see here. Hell lot of it. Thousands of it. And some of these are official. Open source modules are also there, which you can find on the GitHub. You can write your own modules also in any languages, but Python is a preferred one. Modules is nothing but a code which runs in ARS. So basically you can write any number of modules. People have written any numbers of modules. These are the categories. So this is good. All Windows modules you have here. All the file related modules you have here. If you want to work with AWS, Azure and all kind of things here. Network module mostly used in Ansible. Here packaging modules like apt, yum and all kind of things here. Source code management. So a lot of system modules you have here, you see. System modules mean service, package, anything which you want to do at a system level. So let me show you one of the
So
modules in
if you're
file.
working with these modules, do you need to remember all those modules or?
No, not at all. Nowadays, at least, we don't need to remember that. But uh, I remembered two to 300 modules for that.
Mhm.
When we had no chat GPT actually.
Oh, got
So what?
it.
So now, I mean, I used
But
to do. I'll
interview
tell you.
question, they ask these modules. I mean, if I
Yeah,
mean,
they'll
okay.
ask you which
Mhm.
are the modules you have used it. So that's the reason people have a, they'll try to find out the real experience versus something. So
Correct.
you should write a code, not only watching videos and then uh, try something. So you should write
Yeah,
your own code,
because
troubleshoot.
working we can use the chat GPT, we can use those commands or the modules. But in the
Yeah,
interview, I think it would be some real
yeah.
experience. Then on.
They'll ask you what are the modules you have used it. So if
Mm.
you have used it, really coded, you will remember at least tens of modules. So you will answer. My techniques earlier it was because Ansible is there from last 20 years, I guess. Okay. So I started using 12 years ago. So my technique was like this in Google, Ansible module, but what you want to do. So Ansible module for installing package. Now you want to be very specific, Ubuntu or something also you can do that, but this is sufficient. And then this is the module you can use it directly. So this is a pattern for me. I was trying uh, and then you will find it for sure. Again, this place, if you get addicted, I mean 15 years, you'll definitely get addicted. So
Yeah.
you will remember that. So this is the way, this is the model which is helping you to install the packages. Now you say it's a generic package. Generic package means any operating system it will work. But you say no, I want OS specific package. So go a little bit down. Where is that? Here it is. This is the one. There's a link has been given. See here, this will work DNF packages, and this is only work in the Debian, Ubuntu, and all kind of things, right? So here, so this is the way I used to find out. But nowadays, ChatGPT has made our work very easy. The only thing is like you have to understand everything and then start coding from the today only after this session. So don't need to
Okay.
struggle for it. Okay, so I was talking about this thousands of modules you have. So uh, that means thousands of things you can do in ARS, correct now? Here,
Correct. Yeah.
anything you want to do, you can do with it. Okay, so now you only said for everything you require arguments and parameters. So where is your time will be spent? So time will be spent. I want to take you one module set list and let's say copy module, which we were discussing, right? See here, this is a copy module and complete documentations you will find at this place. No need to go uh, Google and all nowadays at least. But when you need a code, you can get it the code from ChatGPT also nowadays. It's very easy. It's time saving. But most important thing which you have is you to understand this parameter. See here, you only said for everything you require a parameters. So for every module, there is a parameter table. You see, for every module, it's a generic, okay? And this table you need to understand well, okay? So what is this? Let's understand this. So parameters, you have attributes, and the type of attribute is a string type. I hope you understand string, boolean, and integer and all kind of things right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the parameters. So parameter 1, 2, and so many. Now, for this, let's what is the module? Copy module. So copy module, what do you want? So logic you have to understand. You don't rely on that tools rather than your common sense. For example, if you are doing copy, so copy you need a source, right? So you don't need to remember. Just go to find out the parameter which is a source. Here it is, and for that matter, you have to give the path here. Okay, so source you have to give, and then destination. So where is that? Here it is, and this is the path again you have to give it. Just check it out. This is a required. That means this module will not work until you pass destination. Then you must be thinking why the source is not required. Any clue? So source
Sorry,
is not.
why the path is not required in source? You were saying? Yeah.
Yeah. Why the source is not required?
Because
So
if you are running this CP command from the same location, so the,
yeah, it will take the same location.
mm,
Good. So it will take a current path if you are not providing, but you can override this one also. Make sense?
yeah, yeah,
So if let's say you want to change the group, here it is. You want to change the permission. So somewhere ch mode, somewhere mode. Where is that? Owner, here it's the mode. Permissions you see. or you can change the while. So all these options which you can find in the CP command, you will find these parameters here. You can easily get it done. Same way I want to show you one more. Let's say go to package, installing the things. So under the system, services, let's go for the services. Services, you understand, right? What you can do with the services. So have you ever started the services, stopped the services, right? All the enabled, disabled in Linux, correct now?
Yeah, some command we have used to stop and start.
System ctl, correct?
Hmm.
System ctl and service both are command. So if you have used it, so see here, name, what do you want to start? Package name, Apache. What do you want to do? State. See, restarted, started, stopped, reloaded. Makes sense? So this table you need to understand well. Okay, that way you understand. So first thing, before hitting the Ansible, you should have a little bit of system administration skills. What you can do, what I do, I'll tell you. Maybe my approach you can follow. So maybe any automation task has come to me. For that matter, I need to do through automation. I mean Ansible. So what typically I do? First, I do manually myself, manually, step by step. Okay, I don't use Ansible or Puppet or whatever it is. I do manually, and then if I do manually, I get a code actually. Step number 1, step 3, 5, 10, 20, 30. These all are steps, right? So what I do, these steps I find out the module, nearest module for it. Okay, copying a file, starting the services, deleting it, starting this, creating a user, creating a group. So everything which I do, first I do manually, and for these each steps I will have one modules and its parameter. Are you understanding this mapping?
Hmm.
Okay, so that way it will be easy for everyone. So this is the stuff. So are we clear on the modules part? All of you?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now next one is the plugins. What is a plugins? So see here, Ansible has been developed using plugin based. Plugin based, now it's not only Ansible. Any tool which has been developed is a plugin based. So plugin means extra feature. Sometimes you call it extension. In you must be using browser, right? Chrome and Firefox, Edge. So you have an extension, correct? You see, this is the extension. So extension, plugin, component, or what do we call it? Other words we have. It's the same thing, right? You add extra functionality to the browser or certain tools, correct? So plugin is the same way. Plugin is a way to add a more feature to Ansible. So this is again is written in Py, but run because the functionality of Ansible. So of course it has to run in ACS. Okay. Now the beauty is some of the plugins are core plugin of Ansible, but some other plugins are like you can write it functionality, or hundreds of plugins you will find on the GitHub also. People have written it, and if you like it, you can go and try it. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So these are the two things you will find once you install Ansible. One more thing you will find, which is a config file. So for that matter, let me explain it to you. So this is an executable called Ansible. Executable. Okay. This is the one. This is the executable called Ansible, and this is a executable. So if you have, I'll give you an example, simple example. SSH protocol default. What is that? Port number. Default port number. SSH
22, 22.
22. Now you want to, this machine for security reason it is been set this one. Okay, because everyone knows the 22, so hackers will hit 122. What about 222? Correct, no?
Yes, I mean it will be different and it will be tough to.
Yeah. So Ansible by default is set with 22 for SSH. I'm giving you one example out of it. Okay, one example. But now you have to modify and make it 222. So you have to modify Ansible. But my question is, can you change the executables? Can you change the executables? No, you can't change it. Let's say I'll give you a simple example to understand this. This is a Git where Git is executable. This is the executable. Now, can you change this code? I mean, this executable file? Because hard
No, I
coded is
mean
happening.
right.
No.
Yeah, it's not the source code. I mean it's like I mean it's
Yeah,
there, but it's executable. Yeah.
yeah. So you can't change it. But I want to change the behavior of it. Some options I want to change it. So what do we do? And that is where Ansible has given it to you one config file which is under the etc Ansible. This file. There's one file which is called etc Ansible config. This is the file I'm talking about. One config file. Okay. And in this file, whatever you overwrite, I repeat, whatever you overwrite, it will be overwriting this executable. That means you can't change the executable, but overwritten the behavior of it. So that means this file will overwrite anything which is hard coded here, and then it will make effect. Are you understanding?
Can you give an example like
Okay.
how?
So here, one more example. Ansible by default can hit to 5 machines parallelly. How many machines? 5 machines by default means, but in a batches, 5 machine, then 5 machine, then 5 machine, and 5 machine, and you want to make it 30 machines parallelly
Hmm.
deployment. What to do now? Here is
No,
hard coded 5,
correct.
but you want to change to 30 because your servers, your requirement, you have a thousands of servers, and in
Hmm.
thousands of servers, if you go 5 by 5 again, it will take a lot of time, right?
Got it. Yeah.
So what to do? Modify this file and make it 30. Fork, we call it that option fork 30, and this guy will change. That means this guy is designed to read this one, override default value.
Oh, okay.
Make
Got it
sense?
now. Hmm.
Okay. So now I want to show you this file. Okay. And then you will understand a little bit better. So just write Ansible config file and then put the DevOps school at the end of it. Everything I put it on my blog. So that way it will save your time. This is the file I'm talking about. And you see here, this is the file. Everything is commented, okay? Everything. Why? Because if you need it, use it. If you don't need it, leave it as it is. Got it?
Hmm. So we just have to enable the particular behavior like which we wanted to update.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
For example, fork, right? Let me try this. Fork. Here it is. Just uncomment this line. That's all.
Hmm.
And change the value whatever you want.
Got it.
Correct, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to change the remote port 22 I was talking about, right? Just uncomment it and change whatever the port you want. Anything you want to change the default value, you can do it here. Make sense? All of you?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So now you understood the architecture of Ansible. So again, I'm repeating. In Ansible architecture, you are the one, you are the one, and then ACS is there, then ARS is there. ACS stand for Ansible Control Server, ARS stand for Ansible Remote Server. ACS has to be Linux, ARS any. In ACS you need to install Ansible, agent list. ACS is Linux, protocol communication protocol is SSH. ARS is Windows, communication protocol WinRM. Prerequisite is Python if both are Linux. Prerequisite is .NET and PowerShell 3, which is in Windows. Again, these all are just for knowledge purpose. I'm discussing. In Linux, you will find a Python by default, and in Windows, you find .NET and PowerShell 3 default. Nothing is required from your side actually. When you install Ansible, you get these four components: executables, modules, plugins, config file. Modules are nothing but the Python code which runs in ARS based on the parameter which I discussed. Plugins, which is a Python code again, but runs in ACS, which is a feature of Ansible itself. You can add a more feature. Config file is a file using that you can override the variables which is fixed in executables to change the behavior of Ansible. That's all. Understood now? Any questions?
Yeah. So will you provide like some demo on this? I mean, to understand better.
Yeah. Now only demo. No discussion is pending now. So what is Ansible? Why do we need it? And Ansible architecture. Are we clear on it?
Yes.
Ta, any questions? Kirtana, any questions? Okay. So now the demo time discussion is over. So let's have a 15 minutes of break, and then once we come back after the break, I'll show you the demo, how it works and all, and how do we restart writing a code for it. Okay. See you.